The Manhattan Project. During World War II, FDR assigned the world's most brilliant scientists and U.S. military minds to develop the first atomic bomb over fears the German scientists were working on a nuclear weapon for Hitler. The top-secret American-led project generated more than 1,500 leaks. At least a dozen Americans, Brits, and Canadians were executed or locked up for leaking atomic secrets to the Soviet Union. The Pentagon Papers, 1971. Former military analyst Daniel Ellsberg leaked thousands of pages from a highly classified government study on U.S. policy in Vietnam.
My God, you know, can you imagine the New York Times doing a thing like this 10 years ago?
Mr. President, this is true.
Damning details, including LBJ's plan to escalate the war despite claiming the opposite during the election. Charges against Ellsberg were later dismissed due to improper government conduct. A Supreme Court ruling would allow more articles to be published as the public's outrage against the war grew. 1 year later, Watergate. FBI agent Mark Felt, a.k.a. Deep Throat, exposed President Richard Nixon's involvement in bugging the DNC headquarters at the Watergate Hotel in Washington to Washington Post reporters. Felt revealed White House officials ordered the political spying and sabotage campaign. It would lead to the end of the Nixon era. 1973, Roe v. Wade. Larry Hammond, a Supreme Court clerk for Justice Lewis Powell, leaked the historic ruling to Time magazine hours before it was announced. Hammond offered to resign, but was rejected. Fast forward to two of the most famous traitors in recent history, U.S. Army Private Bradley Manning and former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. In 2010, Manning, who now goes by Chelsea, leaked more than 700,000 classified documents, including U.S. military battlefield reports from Iraq, Afghanistan, and diplomatic cables. Sentenced to 35 years behind bars, she only served 7 before President Obama commuted her sentence. And finally, in 2013, Snowden exposed the surveillance program PRISM. The leaked documents revealed the NSA was spying on Americans by monitoring phone records and text messages. Facing up to 30 years in prison, Snowden fled the country and is living in Russia. That we're not as divided as we seem, that our differences are not irreconcilable, and when given the opportunity to hear each other out, we might just listen.
I could understand that sort of thing. Like there's good eggs and there's really bad eggs. Right. And when they're in your house, it's like, get them, it's rotten eggs.
Right.
So I knew he read the book because Gutfeld, whenever he likes something, I'll get a text. And he'll literally be like, I had a Craig too. And I was like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, and he'll be like, because when a spot hits him, I mean, he's underplaying himself sometimes.
Right.
One of the things for me that really helped me was being under the tree of someone like Greg, because Greg, you never know where Greg's coming from.
Right.
And you know better than anyone what starts out as a compliment ends up as a horrible diss.
Mine never start as compliments.
Nor
do they end that way. But listen, Tyrus, I told you I love the book. I'm so glad you're a bestseller. Greg's resentful, but that's a good sign.
I am resentful.
Right.
But at least I'm honest about it.
He lets me know. He's like, I'm New York Times bestseller. He'll be like, yeah, well, I've done it 5 times.
I never had I never went to #1 on Amazon. He did.
Right. It's fantastic.
And his book is so much better than yours, Brian. So much better.
Why did I get into it? I'm just trying to
He wrote about everybody else but himself.
Thank you. Hey, Greg, thanks so much for walking on. I know you owe you a lot of money for that, but you only did it for Tyrus because this guy's a special guy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, the best is yet to come. All right, next.
Taking place right now behind the scenes in the NIL world is despicable. And it's dangerous and it's irresponsible.
See, when you start paying athletes like they're professionals, you get athletes acting like they're professionals. And you don't have staffs large enough and equipped enough to handle a young man that's making more money than some of the coaches on staff.
The entire line of Texas also has a deal cashing in on $50,000 a year from a nonprofit charity based in Austin, Texas. It's got 14 deals. It's got one Netflix, Upper Deck, iHeartRadio, Cash App, worth over $1 million. LSU gymnast Olivia Dunn earning more than $1 million building a TikTok following of millions. And at the University of Miami, players can earn up to $6,000 a year by promoting local gyms through social media, personal appearances, and other marketing tactics. Is this a good place for sports to be heading?